Yeah. Yeah. The oxygen's thin in this vacuum of puppets and pride, where the dignity died and the spineless just scurry and hide. I'm a tectonic shift, you just drift with a drift in the tide, while you're polishing boots for a view from the passenger side. You call him a kingpin, that's comedic, a tragic charade, just a porcelain fraud with a piece and a cheap masquerade. See, a tool and a title don't make you a threat in the shade. You're just bait for the blade in this lyrical lethal cascade. I see through the lack of the fraction, the fact you're a ghost, the captain of nothing, just boasting of those who lack most. While you toast to the phantom, I'm haunting the coast with the pros, painting pictures of vultures who pose in the emperor's clothes. You're thirsty for favor, a flavorless labor of greed, sucking up to a vacuum, a hollow and cancerous breed. I'm the oak and the clear and the iron, the sentient seed, while you're bowing for crumbs like a beggar in desperate need. Let's dissect the collection, the harem of wreckage and rust, since you're bragging on conquest that only elicit disgust. First a skeletal shadow, a meth-addicted vessel of dust, tattooed and depleted, a casualty lacking the trust. And the bitter and bloated, a short-fused explosion of spite, with the spirit as dark as the void in the bark with no bite. And the stud who converted for cover, a roof for the night, calling you every slur in the book while you're dimming the light. She's more of a man than the one that she's sleeping beside, a squatter for status, a parasite hitching a ride. You're the bitch to your girl and your girls are the joke of the town, a king of the junk heap wearing a cardboard crown. The license plate escape is the irony screaming aloud. You're running from melanin, trying to blend with the crowd, escaping your essence, your preference, the truth in the shroud. While I'm standing upright in the lightning, I'm loud and I'm proud. The blueprint is faulty, your structure is salt and deceit. You're a legend in mirrors, but a ghost when we're touching the street. Claims of making the music, but silence is all that you beat. Not a single frequency hitting, just static and heat. You're a phantom composer, a poser with nothing to play, while I'm sculpting the sonic and bending the light in the gray. You talk about lifting and grinding and sculpting the clay, but the only thing growing is gravity's heavy display. The midsection spilling, the muffin top rising in bloom, expanding the ego to mask all the lack in the room. A fitness facade that is meeting the lethargic doom. You're a walking hyperbole trapped in the physical tomb. Now let's talk about heritage, picking us out for the clout, a diluted identity fueled by your desperate doubt. You're claiming the black, but the mixed is what's leaking right out. A chameleon chasing a culture you know nothing about. The struggle is aesthetic to you, just a costume to wear, while you're hiding the truth and the gaze and a fraudulent stare. But the wardrobe is failing, the visuals beyond a repair, coming in like an Urkel with ankles exposed to the air. Pants high and tight, looking awkward and stiff in the stride, with the high water flood lines betraying the secrets you hide. As a gangster to dress like a sitcom for 95, you're a caricature of a man who's barely alive. I come in and I conquer, no shortcuts, no schemes, no delay, while you're dodging the labor and begging for minutes to play. You hate that I'm beggar, you hate that I'm buried away. Did I carry him out and it never once falter or sway? I didn't bend at the knee or the waist for a shredded the clout. I'm the definition of end while you're figuring out. You all good boys in college just following orders in doubt. I'm the storm in the silence, the riot, the rhythmic shout. One of my pastors worked 10 of your present and future combined. I'm refining the fire, you're mental and morally blind. You're chasing the ghost with the gun who's a slave to his mind. Leaving scraps for the lapdogs who left their own honor behind. No rhythm, no muscle, no lineage rooted in fact. Just a teen leader with high waters, a soul that is cracked. I'm the architect standing where all of your visions have lacked, burying poses and layers of lyrical impact.